Look what we get to have for lunch. Fresh salmon. That's right. Alright, this is Anna, my beautiful fiance. She's going to teach you how to make salmon.
Alright, when you make salmon, you gotta make it, you preheat the oven to about 400 degrees so that the salmon, you don't want to overcook salmon because it's dry, and any fish you don't want to overcook, so you want to make sure it's the right temperature. What I'm doing right now, before I get stuff all over my shirt, need an apron. I'm going to pour some lemon juice, and salmon, a really good combination. And salmon's got a lot of natural omega-3s in it. So, got a lot of fish oil, so it's okay to add other things.
What are you adding now?
I'm adding rice vinegar, and I add some lemon juice and some olive oil. And that'll just soak in there. And I'm going to add some garlic. Garlic and onions naturally make the flavor come out of anything you do. So if you add garlic or onions to something, I just put don't make the same mistake I did. When you dip out something from fish, you don't want to use the same utensils. That's contaminating the whole thing. So, anyway, so what I'm doing, I'm just going to enhance the flavor by putting it with garlic and onions all over it. And that just, garlic and onions is like salt. It kind of just makes everything stand out. So you're just going to lay these onions over the whole thing. And you can do small ones, you can do big ones. But I like to do these kind because then it gives you, when they cook down, it actually gives you a nice, you can actually taste the onion a little bit too. Versus if you did small ones, you wouldn't be able to taste the big onion. I like tasting lots of onions. So you don't have to put them exactly like this, but you can cut them and dice them. Next, I try to touch the fish as less as possible. That's why I'm using my basting brush that someone got me from Dollar Tree. So, take my seasoning salt. Seasoning salt is really good. Seasoning salt. I'm just out of it, but just gonna sprinkle it on. And fish, if you don't like fish, usually what I do is I put a nice layer of mayonnaise on there. Mayonnaise kind of like a tartar sauce that you put on the fish. It actually cooks on there, and then you would, like before I would do this, I would put the lemon juice on, everything, and before I put the seasonings and the onions, I would have put, and the garlic, I would have put a nice layer of mayonnaise, and that would have, like, if you don't like fish that much, it kind of gives you a nice balance of the milky taste. Now I just add whatever I kind of want, or I'm feeling like. I don't add a lot of Italian stuff, Italian seasonings. This is celery salt. I do add a lot of savory seasonings, so like I'm gonna add a dill. Dill and fish go really well together. Dill and salmon go really well together. So if you're making salmon, adding some dill, or even some fresh dill. I wish I had some fresh dill right now. I'll just cut it up and put it on there, but add some pepper. With Italian seasonings, it might have a tendency to, since like you have basil and you have things like that, it kind of almost deadens the taste. The salmon is so strong that you need savories to balance it out. If you have lighter seasoning like basil, you need a lot of basil to put on this thing. Adding some black pepper. And you can even add some, if you wanted it spicy, I would add jalapenos if I had them.
That sounds a little different.
Yeah, I mean, basically it's whatever you want now. It depends on
what kind of flavor you want.
What kind of flavors. Like, I'm adding whatever's in my fridge right now. I have some more onions in the front. But I'm going to add some tomatoes.
What do the tomatoes do? Just a different flavor, or?
Well, when you're eating, I actually supposed to cut this a different way. I'll cut it in half, though. what they'll kind of do is, it'll kind of, when you're eating the salmon, it'll give you that extra juice in your mouth. And they'll be hot and toasty, so it'll be perfect. And those tomatoes will kind of seal in the juice from the onions, and so it'll all just bake down really nice.
That's gonna be so good.
I can smell it. It smells good. When you're making salmon, it's good to have the good kind of salmon. If you don't have good salmon, it's gonna be hard to make it. Any good fish. Most people don't like fish, and so if you're not a fish eater and you're watching this, it's probably because you haven't had fresh fish. If you have store-bought tilapia, it's way different than fresh Alaska salmon that was vacuum sealed. We vacuum seal ours. That was caught last summer, but because it's vacuum sealed, it doesn't age. But this is the best salmon you can get. It's red sockeye salmon. Most of the salmon you get in the store is either a pink salmon or a silver, not a silver salmon. Sometimes they're silvers, but mostly it's pink. Another name for it is humpy. Another name for it is I can't remember the other name for it, but that salmon is going to be a light pink. See how the salmon is red, that red color? You want to get salmon that's red, not pink. If you have a pink, this one is really red because it's the best kind. Anyway, so now I put it on this. I put the foil on because the salmon, it's just easier to clean your pan. So if you're making that, it's easier to wash my hands. Don't want anything touching my salmon. Alright, and then you're going to put it in a 400-degree oven, and it's going to take about 20-30 minutes to cook.
20 or 30?
Yeah, and you're going to want to you check it at least once or twice, because depending on your oven, it might, like the oven I do it at my parents' house cooks differently than this oven, so every oven kind of cooks a little bit differently. So fish, like I said before, fish, you need to make sure that salmon is not overcooked, but you know it's done when you pull it apart and it flakes a little bit. If it doesn't flake, then it's not done. If it's too dry, you'll see it, but as soon as it flakes just a little bit, that's when you want to take it out. It's done. I checked it. It flakes. It's perfect. Right. We just double check it.
Now, how do you check to know if it's done?
You know what? Actually, this is not done.
It is not done.
Nope. See? Because look at. See the middle? It's still not. It's not flaking. The side is done. The side is flaked off. Perfect. The middle is still red, so we need to put it back in.
All right. Second try. Let's see how this turned out. How's it look, babe?
It's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably, if you had a temperature, a thermometer, it'd be really easy. You stick it in there. If it's the right temperature, it's done.
What's the right temperature for salmon?
I think it's like 135.
135?
But I might want to go online and check. I can't really actually remember. So this way, it destroys your product. It tastes good, but it doesn't look good.
This is how a Christian parties. With apple cider, non-alcoholic, 100% juice apple cider. I'll even do I'm not very good at this. Look at this amazing spread that Anna made. I helped a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
Yummy!